Now then, people, good afternoon and welcome back to the Just Joe football show. Twice in the day. After this, we'll get your Middlesbrough preview recorded, which will be out in the morning. And then, of course, we play Middlesbrough tomorrow night. However, it's come with some very, very bad news. As expected, I didn't think Farke would make Tuesday night. However, I didn't envisage that it'd be out till January. January looks like long-term injury for Junior Farke, 4 to 6 weeks. Nightmare. We also then hear that Jayden Bogle hasn't trained. I don't think he'll make tomorrow, just based on that information. So that's a little bit of a worry. Both starting fullbacks will miss arguably our toughest game in December. Yes, Tyler, we do have a decent running to contend with. But yeah, I just wish this was after Middlesbrough, because, you know, they're very strong in the wing areas as well. So it's like a bus, isn't it? You know, you wait for one and then two come along at once. And Farke out. Of course, you can have a conversation on whether or not he should have played, but ultimately, you know, we have to win games of football, and I don't think it's a recurrence of the same injury. Wöber and Byram potentially. Maybe even we'll see Isaac Schmidt, because Byram's just coming back in as well. Perfect time for a back three, says Vega. That could be a shout as well. Maybe Isaac Schmidt and Byram wing backs, and then a back three of Wöber, Strauch and Rodon. That could work. But yeah, Ryan, I agree with you. Schmidt or Wöber need to step up. And I agree with what Leeds says. You cannot really risk Bogle. He's not trained. I think they might do if he's 75%. I think they might do, people, because it's a big game. And you don't want to change too much, do you? So, yeah. Yeah, tough, for sure. One second, just messaging my brother. Sorry about this. Yes, do not risk me, says Ethan. Is that you? Do not risk me, says Ethan. Ethan's going to be playing. Big up to Ethan, by the way. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope everything is all right. Right, okay. Just make sure I've got that sorted. Yes. Just got the thumbnail sorted as well for Wednesday. We'll do Sheffield United versus Millwall. Perfect. So we've got a jam-packed week full of content. So that's all so positive. But we will get into the presser. Obviously, the biggest news being that that we're going to be without probably Bogle and we're going to be without Bogle. Right, okay, let's get into it then, and we'll see what's been said. Wayman, you and Sean kissed and made up now. We always, of course we do. I haven't kissed and made up with you, though, Demand, ever. Big up to Sonny, Allison, Ethan, Steve Brown, Matt Leeds, all of you. Thank you for always supporting the channel and always being here. I have had a nightmare day, by the way, because I got a bed from my mum's yesterday, and I've had to move it all around on my own. Oh, my God, wardrobes and everything. But I did it. Liam Moore, ever the optimist. We are fooked. I don't think we are, mate. It's fine. That's what we've got a squad for. That's what we've got the biggest and best squad for. Not biggest, but best squad. I think, you know, we have Isaac Schmidt, we have Sam Byram, we have Wöber, we have Strauch, we have Rodon. 2 players do not a team make. Farke being out isn't great. Bogle being out isn't great, but we can get by. But let's get on to the team news and the specific words that came from the GOAT that is Daniel Farke's mouth. So, team news, Sam is back in training. positive. So team training yesterday and now available for this game if he comes through today. So could we see him play? Yes. And if it's Byram at right back and Vobra at left back, it's not too bad. Let's be honest. I think Byram doesn't get enough flowers. So I think Byram being at right back will be totally fine. Sadly, Firpo has a serious muscle injury in his hamstring, and it could be 4 to 6 weeks, which is so disappointing. Me and Connor were speaking about it this morning, and, saying just how he himself in an interview with Graham Smith had said, the key to his good form is playing football regularly. And then, he misses out due to his own fault, obviously, with the red card, silly headbutt. And then he comes back. He don't look good against Blackburn, and then obviously gets injured. So disappointing. But yeah, Tyler makes a great point as well. Not as much attacking threat from Bogle and from Junior, but they're both solid defensively. And that is a great shout as well. Maybe we'd struggle more with these two as wing-backs or full-backs against poorer opposition, which might sound mad, but when the impetus is on Leeds United, when the impetus is on Leeds to create attacks against low blocks, which we're not going to face tomorrow, Vobra and Byram aren't probably your best options. But when asked to defend, both of these can do this. So, yeah. And I think Evie's made a point there of maybe James playing to add, some more defensive solidity, which is a shout as well. And Ryan agrees, give more, defensive cover, does James over and on tour. But yeah, serious muscle injury, 4 to 6 weeks. We're looking at January, which is disappointing. But he's going to be definitely out over the festive period. About 7 league games is what Farke said. So yeah, you're looking mid-January really. So that's disappointing. Most players came through without injuries. However, there's a question mark on Bogle. He is in pain. He wasn't involved in training. He is more likely to miss the game than be available. He is in really good shape, and we would like to have him with us. So again, I don't know what it'll be like in the morning, but I do think they might try push Bogle, and we might have nothing to worry about. It might be Vobra and Bogle, but like people have said, 3 games in 6 days. And it's not even that. December in itself is just so busy. Like, it's so busy. And then you've got New Year's Day and all that sort of stuff. So is it right to risk it? Probably not. Firpo injury impacts January, asked Popey. He said if he rehabs well, then it should not change too much for us going into January. If it's more serious, then yes, it would impact. There's no noise of Junior Firpo on a new contract either, which is interesting. Because obviously from January, he can sign pre-contract agreements with clubs in Europe. Maybe he fancies a return back to Spain. Might be something Leeds United do look at. Because obviously if he is and doesn't come... And look, as good as Junior's been, and I'd like him to get him a new deal, he does have an issue injury-wise. We will be hopefully getting promoted. Maybe they'll look at that. So... yeah, it's interesting on Firpo because his future is in the balance, of course, as well, isn't he? Because, he's out of contract in the summer. So, interesting one. And if he is out long-term, then they might look to bring in a starter. They might look to bring in a starter and have that left-back then come into the Premier League with us because we will need additions at full-back, definitely. With Byram as well. He probably doesn't get a new deal if we get promoted. He might do as a utility player, but he won't play much at all. I don't think Sam will be that bothered, if I'm honest. He's at that stage of his career. So maybe he might stick around playing the cups and stuff, and if there's an injury crisis. But yeah, I think we will need additions there. So maybe that's something they have in the back of the, in the back of the mind with Junior as well. And that's probably why Popey's asked that question. So he said, look, if he rehabs well, it won't change much for us. However, if it is more serious and we're looking February, then, maybe we will look at January and have a look at a left back. And we are seeing the club being more active in this because I never thought they'd get Gulavogi over the line with the injury to Ampadu. And they have, and Ampadu's back now. We'd have probably got through without Gulavogi, but they did do it. And they've streamlined behind the scenes. Obviously, I don't think the summer went as planned, or there was definitely too many cooks spoiling the broth. So they have streamlined. So we might see a more effective January as well. He was asked about Voba, though, because obviously Voba played there in the last game against Derby and arguably had his best game in a very long time for Leeds. I know he hasn't played much, but it was his best game I can remember anyway. And Farke said we knew he could play this position. You know, he's played there for this club and for his country. He's a solid defender who closes the wings. We work with him. He's not naturally good in attack, but he showed shades against Derby, didn't he? But yeah, Borough will be a different kettle of fish. But he does say he adds other strengths. He always puts in a shift. Not sure about that. Strengthened his technique. He had a good performance on Saturday. We cannot expect he runs our defence like number 10. I don't know what he meant by that. Yeah, I don't know. Because he operated in the 10 for a bit, I guess, didn't he? He came in. Prepare. So then I think Simon Grayson had a chat with Farke after the match about does he prepare his teams like attack versus defense, because that's what it looks like a lot of the time. And he said, and then was asked specifically about Piroe, because Piroe seems to have adapted his game, you know, more. And I do think Piroe is the best option for us right now. And I do think Piroe is adjusting his game and looking better. You know, if we compare Piroe last season to this, it's a different player. And he said, I haven't changed it as such. This is what Farke said. He's always a striker who likes to drop deeper out of his striker role and arrive late. So he's special in his approach, and you cannot change a player's main strengths. We work on this game and mobility, but never make a lightning quick. We work on his game and mobility, but we're never going to make a lightning quick mobile player out of him. Of course you're not, because, you can't teach someone speed, can you? Overall, Joel is 11 games starting, 7 goals. I cannot complain about his record. If he keeps going like this, we're on a good path. We need strikers. We need different types. Joel has strength and advantages. There are a few areas he can improve on, but won't change him at all as a player. Last season, he got 13 or 14 goals despite not starting every game. Remember, we went through a period where Bamford was starting. He was asked about Battle of the Wingers against Borough, because obviously there might be a rotation there. I think he might start with Ramazani and Nonto, if I'm honest. But he said it's all connectors. Our wingers alone will not win the game, and neither their wingers. Obviously, we know they've got Bendo, Keziah Jones, other players in them positions. Hayden Hackney's a good player, obviously, midfielder, though. But yeah, they've got a very good side of Borough. He said, it's important you initiate the attacks in the proper way. We need to be structured against the ball, which, you know, Paul Warren was praising Farke for how good. He said, listen, we've played 19 teams so far this season, and no one's done to us what Leeds had done to us, you know. And we're hearing that a lot. So, off the ball, Leeds are very good. Creativity on the wings, and hope they can deliver on the wings with assists and end products. Borough are one of the best teams in the league with individuals. Tommy Conway, Latila score goals. Keziah Jones came in and did well. They have several good options. One of the best attacking sides in this league, and the stats back that up. Our defence needs to be spot on. Our compactness. More possession means more control and better positions, better movements from our attackers to be found with passes. So from that there, you're getting that, you know, we will look to possess the football. Might not always be with purpose and precision, because it might be a case of just keeping the ball. But what's the best way to win a game? By having the ball in your possession. I don't think it'll work as much as that, because I do, you know, think Borough are decent, and it might be quite a transitional game. But yeah, listen, possession wins you points, doesn't it? Possession wins you prizes. More of the same. But I don't know if it'll be a boring affair. Let's say I think both sides will have decent opportunities. You just hope that it's not on who's got the better keeper on the day kind of vibe, because ours can tend to throw some in. Again, like I said, he said, Middlesbrough, one of the best sides in the division. I think we all agree with that as well. I don't think many of us disagree with that. He was asked about the Carabao Cup loss. Does it make a difference? And he said, of course, we're all competitors. Leeds United will want to right the wrongs, if you like. I won't compare it to that, though, because it was different lineups. We'd made 7 changes. They'd made 6 or 7 as well. Obviously, Farke did mention that we discovered just before the game that Rutter was leaving us and he was in the squad, so it was difficult to focus. I don't think that should impact it too much. We shouldn't have got walloped like we did, but it does have an impact. But I'm expecting a better performance from Leeds United. And like I say, we'll have a full-strength squad out. And I know Borough had made changes as well, but does a full-strength side, Leeds United side, go down to Middlesbrough like that? No, I don't think so. So it'll be a tough game, but still want us to win and still expect, it within our arsenal. At the end of the day, we've won 7 games at Ellen Road on the spin. We're pretty special at home. So let's hope that can continue. But one thing's for sure, that we have to be rock solid against them defensively, and that's what Farke echoed in his presser. Ilya Gruev is back on the grass. This was reported over in Bulgaria. He was asked specifically by Baron about that, and he said, yeah, he's back on the grass, but he's only got his trainers on. He's doing a bit of running. It'll be a while yet before he's back in team training, so he's far from being involved. He won't be back for the next couple of weeks. I think some maybe thought maybe even for the season, but it looks like we might get him like February, March, April, maybe around that time. Maybe towards the back end of the season, but again, by that point, we'll be in our groove. He'll struggle to get back in, so it might be a case of next season, to be fair. Chris Wilder's been talking, hasn't he? Talking up Leeds United, saying that we're the best team in the league and all that sort of stuff. And I do feel I agree with what he's saying, but I also feel with Wilder, it's coming with it's taking the pressure off players. It's putting the pressure back onto Leeds United. You know what he's doing? He's a wily old fox and all that. But Farke did say, look, we take it as a compliment. We are delivering really good performances. But he did say we are miles off being labelled a Premier League side. There is no doubt about this. 2 years ago, we were hopeless in the Premier League. Then in the summer, we lost our best players. Everyone was fearing the worst. It was more or less the same in this past summer. I don't think it was the same, but yeah, it still was upheaval. I think Farke lost more players than he expected. I know we as a fan base didn't expect them all to go. Look, we had Rutter starting, didn't we? And if it weren't for that, he would still be here. But he says I wouldn't say that we're miles ahead of Burnley or Sheffield United, who were in the Premier League last season. But I love my players and I back them. Do I think we're miles ahead of Burnley and Sheffield United? No, I don't either. I don't think a lot of us do. Do I think we're better? Yes. Do I think we're the better squad? Yes. But I don't think we're miles better. Definitely not. He spoke about how, we're a long way off Premier League level. And I think sometimes we need to know, we maybe, and myself included, can get carried away. Tanaka's been amazing. But Farke said, look, being in the Bundesliga too, no one else took a chance on him. No one else saw what we saw. Do I think Tanaka can do it in the Prem? Yes, but it's a massive step up. He spoke about Rothwell not being good enough to get in Southampton's side last season, and they got promoted over Leeds. Now we're starting him. We do have to take these things into consideration. Joe Rodon not getting a game at Spurs, going out to France, all these sort of things. So as good as Leeds United are, it is a huge step up. It is a huge step up. And he made a point of that, and I think there's a case for it. Like Bogle's been relegated. No one took a chance. He was out of contract. Oh, no, he wasn't out of contract, but he had a year left. No one took a chance. There's a reason these players have come to a championship club. There's a reason Aronson hasn't moved on. Voba's still with us, etc. So, there is something in that. And when we do get promoted, there will need to be a lot of changes, I think. No room for complacency, though, he said, we're not good enough to cruise through easily. And I don't think, even if we were, Leeds United still wouldn't, because it's just Leeds, isn't it? That we just never would cruise. He said, he had some special praise for the supporters. He said, we need our backing. We need to create this unity. We are all together. Our fans are the biggest asset. And I do believe tomorrow night the atmosphere will be on point. It hasn't been amazing this season. I'm reticent to mention that because obviously I'm not going, but it sort of comes through. And speaking to people who go, it's not been great. It has been in some performances. I think Sheffield United was a decent atmosphere. That's a Friday night. Tuesday night, under the lights, Ellen Road, against Middlesbrough, who walloped us. I think the atmosphere will be very, very good. So yeah, I fully expect Leeds United to do well from the crowd's perspective. I don't know who started to come on at the end of the presser, but he said, "Do Leeds United turn up expecting to win going into games?" I think I understand where it's coming from, because obviously the form at home's been imperious, like I say, 7 wins, 20 odd goals scored in how many games. It's insane. Not really conceded any. I don't think we've conceded at home in the last couple of games, have we? So, you don't want complacency to come in, but like I say, do we expect to win? I suppose I don't think I like that, but I like opposing fans coming, be losing before they've even entered the pitch. Do you know what I mean? That kind of vibe, like, bloody hell, these haven't lost here for ages. But Farke did say, no, we always play to win, but we never expect to win. After 2 or 3 home games, we had an unlucky draw against Portsmouth and an unlucky loss against Burnley. Then we had the cup game. We were asked about our home form at the time because we had good results on the road. Now we are standing at home and our away results are a bit poorer. And he makes a good point. We have done all right away from home at the start of the season. Remember, we dropped points against Portsmouth and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully that flips soon. Not flips to the point. We just want to be good both home and away. But he did say we have top defensive behaviour. Every game is different. We would not have expected a 2-2 between West Brom and Sheffield United. Maybe a stalemate, but 0-0. We have to be our best to dominate this game. I don't know what he's talking about there, if I'm being totally honest. But I thought 1-1 West Brom, Sheffield United. Did we expect 4 goals? No, there's probably something in that. But yeah, we do or are very good defensively. And that's not something Borough can say, so we will be there. And then to finish up, he was asked if he ever brings outside voices into the dressing room. This is something that some managers do. We know that Sam Allardyce last season brought back McAllister, Strachan, Gray, and got them to talk to the lads, didn't he? And Farke's done it himself in the past with Norwich. He said, I do like other influencers. And we've talked about this topic. We did this at Norwich. People from business or other sports talking about coming through different difficult moments or lifting silverware. I like these influencers because the players always have to listen to me. It's a different voice. We haven't done this too much at Leeds, and I don't like to mention this too much to avoid looking for compliments. He said at Norwich, we had the Augusta winner with us. These influencers are interesting. We will do this more often at Leeds United. Just haven't done it as of yet. Maybe we could have done with some extra voices last summer. But yeah, look, that was all the presser. It is going to be interesting to see now what combinations he goes with, because we've got issues at fullback, and then who does he go with in the wing position? I don't think I'd like Voba and Solomon. So I think Voba, Nonto, Byram, or Bogle, James. I think I go Nonto and James. I think he might have brought Ramazani, but maybe not start against Middlesbrough, and he can't tackle. Nonto and James. It'd be interesting to see which combinations he'll go with. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's what I'm excited for. This is what we watch football for, right? It should be a great turnout at Ellen Road, great atmosphere. And hopefully Leeds United will come through it with 3 points. And if they do, then I'm expecting an unbeaten month. Why not? If we come through Middlesbrough, having not lost, I don't think we lose for the rest of the month. We might draw, but I don't think we lose. Can't see Preston beating us, Stoke. I can't see Derby or Oxford doing anything to Leeds United. And that would see us top of the table with a little gap. So tomorrow, if we come through this, then the world's our oyster kind of vibe. That's where my head's at. I'm confident. But I am nervous about this game. So yeah, fullback's been undecided. It's difficult. It really adds something to it, doesn't it? But hopefully we can come through it. Thank you very much, Jammy. Listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell. I could potentially be on the debrief tonight. If not, your preview will be out in the morning. And then obviously it's game day, so I'll see you for the watch along. And there'll be one on Wednesday as well for Millwall versus Sheffield United, which I'm looking forward to as well. Up the Millwall, up the Lions Den and all that jazz. But thank you for watching the Just Your Football show as always. Enjoy the rest of your day, and maybe I'll do something tonight. Actually, I don't know. We've had 2 videos out. It might be all right. Probably leave it. Don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Leeds come through tomorrow unscathed. We go unbeaten for the rest of the month. Thank you for watching, and I shall see y'all in a bit. Bye.